I'm Phoebe Wild with BGG News, and I'm here at BGG.CON 2015 with Michael Coe from Game.
Hi Phoebe.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing great, thanks.
And he's going to show us Tiny Epic Western, which is currently in development, coming out soonish.
Yes, that's right. Actually launching on Kickstarter January 11th.
Excellent.
So check it out. So Tiny Epic Western is the newest installment in the Tiny Epic series. So it's going to still present that Tiny Epic package that our players and gamers have come to appreciate, being that the rules are very streamlined, the system's very approachable, easy to understand. Game's going to have a lot of replayability, and plays in about 30 to 45 minutes for 2 to 4 players. So this game takes elements of worker placement and poker and kind of wraps it all into one. This is the first real worker placement in the Tiny Epic series, so that's going to be nice and fresh. So in this one you're going to be taking on the role of a Western legend, a grand boss, and you're going to be managing a posse of cowboys that you're sending around to different locations in the town to play poker and to also acquire property. There's going to be a bit of an enterprising element. It's you're really kind of a boomtown tycoon, if you will. So, you know, right here I got the chief, and then I've got my little posse members. Now these, you know, this is a prototype actually, so don't think that this is the final version of the game. There are some elements still that are going to change, but this is getting pretty close. So everybody starts off with a couple of poker cards that you're gonna select one and discard the other, and then this card that you have, and the one that I drew is the 3, is going to be used to create multiple 3-card hands throughout a single round. So when I place a cowboy, for instance, I can place them on the outer ring at any of these locations. You'll see the ones that are color coordinated, yellow, blue, red, green, are the different players' locations. So if I'm the blue player, I own the courthouse, and as I acquire property, I'm going to build my property up here behind the courthouse. But that doesn't mean I have to place my people there exclusively. I can go all around town. So if I wanted to place my first posse member out here at the hideout, I'd collect the gold as a resource. There's going to be some resource management in this game as well. But because I've now gone there, you know, and let's say another player places his, and we go around like this, right? And all the players do their different things. Once you've gone through the worker placement and everybody's placed their cowboys, you're going to need to now resolve each location, and that's where the poker element's going to come in. So, you know, let's say I've got, you know, somebody, let's say, you know, being blue, my 2 locations are the courthouse and the hideout. So that's where I'm going to play my poker cards. So now everybody flips over their card and reveals, and you're going to use the 2 cards that shoulder that location in conjunction with your card to create the 3 cards. So here you'll see we've got a 2 and a 4, and I'm holding the 3. So that would give me the straight. Now, if another player, let's say, had came to the same location, we'd be competing, and he would reveal his card, and, you know, let's say he had a 2. Well, he's got a pair, but my straight wins. And if you're unfamiliar with how the hands in poker work, and there's a little bit of variability with that in this game as well, but you can see a listing here of how the hands rank in this game specifically. Now, if we were to tie, then our suits would come into play, and the suits have different rankings as well. So, but you can kind of see how it works. Then we come around, and I would also then apply this same card to this location. Now we got a 2, a 3, and a 5. That's really nothing. So I would have a high card of 3. But if I'm at a location all by myself, then I'm actually going to have to face the rival, which is going to be 1 card in the center of the table that competes with me as if he's another player. So his 2 would actually pair up with this 2, and I'd lose this location even though I was there by myself to the rival. So you want to be aware of that. And then once you get to the town hall, every player uses their card to resolve the town hall. So, for instance, we know that green is holding a 2, so he'd get a pair, while I would have a straight. So this is going to give me the victory of the town hall, which is going to allow me to buy. It's going to give me the priority of buying buildings first. And so when I go across, you know, green and I are here competing. Because I won the town hall, I'm going to be able to buy this building out from underneath him. The resource cost is going to be listed down at the bottom. And then this will be added to my supply of buildings back here, and it's actually going to tuck in front. But you're going to see that I'm going to start kind of spanning out the different cards that I have, because they're going to display victory points that I'm acquiring from that building, but also influence types for certain industries. There's going to be some kind of stock control in this game where The end of the game is triggered when these industry tokens get ranked at the town hall. Each one of these represent their own industry, and they're color-coded, and you will have unique bits and stuff that help clarify that. But once those are ranked, the game is over. You're going to score based on the points that you've got from your buildings, and then you're going to take a look at who has majority control of the different industries. So the orange represents the mining industry, and if I just take a look across the table, I've got 2 mining icons. He's got 1. The green doesn't have any, red doesn't have any, so I would get the highest bonus points for having majority control of that industry. Whoever had second majority control, which would be yellow, would get the secondary points. And we would do the same for these different industries, and then you put those points together and you got yourself a winner. Now, one thing I'll get into real quick, and I'm sure everybody's wondering, what in the heck are these beautiful bullet dice doing on this table? So, in worker placement, typically one of the elements is an exclusion of blocking people out, but being that this is the Wild West, anybody can just walk on up and start a duel with you, and so there's no full worker placement exclusion. So if somebody had gone to a very coveted spot that I want, I can still come in if I have an available worker, a cowboy, and face off against that opponent at that location. We would both pick up one of the bullet dice. We give it a roll, but it's not going to be based just on the roll. At this point, the loser does have an option of re-roll if they want to pay a resource specific to whether you're the attacker or the defender. But more importantly, you have the option of adding your poker card to your die roll at the risk. I mean, you're going to reveal your poker card, so it's going to depend on kind of where at in the round you are. Your card will shuffle at the end of each round, so you're not going to hold on to it for the whole game. All the poker cards will shuffle at the end of the round, so you're playing a new hand each time. But I could throw that down and be like, I got a total of 8, and my opponent, who was maybe holding the 2, no good for the opponent. So I end up winning the fight. He'd get laid down. I'd stand on top of him. But beware, because another player could come in and knock me down and create something nasty. And, it gets pretty wild that way. But plays fantastically. I probably just did a super long-winded explanation, so sorry to just rattle off like that. But sometimes, if you let me go, sometimes I'll just go. But yeah, we're looking forward to it, and it's been getting a lot of positive reception here at the show.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for the overview.
Hey, my pleasure.